Hey, there we are, and that's it. Okay, well, I'll say hello first, and hopefully you can all hear me, and I'm just going to hand you over to Alison B.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Learning Tree, and welcome to our webinar this afternoon on the evolution of online learning. It's delighted to have you with us. I'd like to introduce you to our virtual learning advocate, Mike Parker. Thank you.
There you are. Right. Well, okay. Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's afternoon here in the UK. We've got 7 participants online at the moment. And one of the things which I've just done is I've popped a little poll on the screen. So hopefully you can see that poll. And if you could kindly just put your options in there, you can select multiple options. Have you actually attended live online learning before? And yeah, it was fun, great, or it was okay, or it was boring, or never done it before. So really appreciate it if you could just pop some answers in there for us. And that's going to help me enormously as well. Hopefully you can hear me nice and clearly. And I'd like to welcome you to Learning Tree. And just so that you're aware, I'm actually in London. We're at Euston House, which is coincidentally right next to Euston train station. So, okay, we've got some answers in there at the moment. We've got about 24 people or something registered, so don't quite know what's happening at the moment. You may notice the chat pod, and the chat pod, which is just above me, just up here. In the chat pod, we can actually obviously send messages, and I can read your messages directly. So I wonder, just while we're waiting for a few people to connect into the classroom, I wonder if you could just put in, I mean, don't give away any confidential information, but who is the closest to Euston, and who is the furthest from London? So just if you could put in, roughly where you are, and then we could see who is the furthest away or who is the closest. So as I say, just feel free, just type it in directly above me here. Arizona. Hello there, Amanda. Now, we can actually all be talking, communicating directly with each other, but just so that we don't pick up lots of background noise and things like that, the actual audio is not currently enabled. But in a live classroom, it certainly would. So it's only Amanda who's in Arizona, and everybody else is quiet. I wonder if anybody else can hear me. In Virginia. Hello, Shannon. Yes, you may win. Well, I have seen the list, but I don't know if the attendees have actually connected in yet. There is someone considerably further away, even than Arizona, Amanda. So who's the closest? Who's the closest to London? And then we'll get started. Very wet and rainy in Surrey. Now, I can certainly understand what Vicky's actually saying, and Alison's in London. Well, I think Alison is probably the closest. Oh, you're in Hampshire, Adam. My father lives in Alton. Well, certainly I've just come in from Surrey, so I know how wet it is. Anyway, you're not here to learn all about that, but I'm so pleased that you're able to actually communicate directly by popping the messages into the chat window. So thank you. And of course, this is all part of the learning type environment. So what I'll do is I'll just close off the poll now if you've answered. We've got 8 people online, and I've got 5 people that have answered. So that means that there's another few people who haven't quite answered yet. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll get on with the webinar. So let's just hide that. Okay, so the title here is, Are you ready for the evolution of online learning? And certainly you can tell from me, I'm an old boy. I've been around for quite a while, and I've seen the evolution. Obviously, it's been happening all the time while I've been with Learning Tree, and it is challenging for some people. And really, the purpose of this webinar is to actually just show you how exciting it can be. So, okay, if we can, let's just move on a little bit here. Oh, my little thing's not working. Oh dear, where am I? Unfortunately, that's it, should be on there. Right. Yes, okay. So as I've mentioned there, we have got the audio. Oh, you're outside Edinburgh. Ah, lovely, lovely Edinburgh. Absolutely love it, Carol. We're not actually enabling the audio at the moment, so if you could kindly pop any messages into the chat window. We're using voice over IP, and the reason for using voice over IP is, of course, to save money. Yes, you don't want to have to dial into a telephone number and then be online all of the time, yep, or have that active all of the time. So instead, we'll use the telephone. We won't use the telephone. And I am in a Learning Tree classroom at the moment. And you can see I keep on looking behind me here because this is what you are seeing. And we've got the technology, really cool stuff, because as I move away, hopefully everything switches. And so now there is a camera in the ceiling. And okay, with the camera in the ceiling, that allows me to actually move around the classroom. So you know what's happening directly. So that's really cool. It also, if I just step away again, it also sometimes it gives remote attendees a chance to actually watch what is going on with the attendees just in the front row here. Because what you can do is you can just roughly see this screen. And because you can see that screen, it allows the remote attendees to actually pace themselves. They can see what the in-class attendees are actually doing. And it works very, very well indeed. The only thing is, as an instructor, I have to be very aware of movement and movement and movement. Because as you can see, we keep on switching and you get this trombone effect. So one of the things that we actually do at Learning Tree, and I am actively involved in, is the actual training of the instructors with regard to this technology and how to use it. So, Virginia, I think Arizona, you've won. We can definitely say that, Amanda. So, whoops, gone the wrong way as usual. Okay, so let's just have a look. This is a webinar. It'll go on for no more than an hour. And I'm here to actually just show you the great features associated with attending a Learning Tree type course. And what I've got is I have a console in front of me. And with the console, I have the capability of being able to draw and the capability of being able to highlight things directly. So the in-class attendees, they can actually see the highlights. Yes, and likewise, of course, you see those highlights live. And there is like a vital question, really, that we want to actually get covered here. And that is really, you know, is virtual training as good as face-to-face? Because that's important. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about learning is really to enjoy yourself. The more you enjoy yourself, the more things go in. Is it essential that you're in the classroom, though? And that's really what I'm here to show you. So we're going to talk about, you know, some of the real benefits that are associated with using this technology. Benefits for you directly. Also, of course, interact with the instructor. I hope you will. Yes, I hope you'll use, whoops, wrong way. I hope you'll use this chat pod to actually communicate directly with me. And if you've got any questions, please just pop them in to the chat pod and I'll happily respond. I'd also like to show you how we handle the hands-on type exercises, because here at Learning Tree, we do obviously hands-on type courses. And we use different technologies for those courses. One of the technologies we use is called SkyTap, which is a cloud environment. And I'll do a demonstration of that a little bit later on. And we also support breakout rooms, which are used more often, well, not used so much in the technical type courses, but more in the management types of courses. And we've got features whereby we can share, we can collaborate directly. So I can be interacting with you as a remote participant. And likewise, I can see what you are doing during the exercises. And if you've got a problem, then in the same way, I could walk over to an in-class attendee and actually help them. Well, instead, all I do is I actually just use the technology here and, well, use the technology here and then access the cloud computers or the shared Google Drive type systems. So there we are. That's just a little bit of background as to what we're going to be covering, yes, in this hour. And okay, who am I? Well, there we are. I think it all says enough. I've been with Learning Tree now for over 35 years, and supposedly I am one of the longest serving instructors in the world. When I started with Learning Tree, I had long hair. This is just one of the features that Learning Tree don't tell you about, when you join as an instructor or anything like that. But I am independent. I run my own company, companies, in fact. They're based in Singapore and also based in Malaysia. And okay, within Learning Tree, they encourage us to actually keep on learning, keep on teaching ourselves, because that keeps us live in the classroom. We know what's happening. Yet I am not a trainer as such, although I have spent a long time in the teaching side and training over 7,000 plus attendees. And okay, I honestly think that this technology is brilliant. Whoops. So okay, going on a step there now. Oh, got a bit of a lag with that. There we are. So, are you ready to actually go for this live online learning? Well, how do you make that decision? Well, it depends, really. You are going on a digital evolution yourself. Yeah, I don't have to ask you, about, you not using, well, let's say you not using a smartphone or anything like that. The majority of us have smartphones now. I don't have to talk to you about the internet. We know what the internet is and things like that. So we're all on a digital journey. And okay, as far as this digital journey, can it include online type learning? How are we going to do it? Well, of course, you could actually be a little bit like me in the early days and say, well, why change things? If it's not broken, why try and fix it? Why should I learn new things? Yeah, I was perfectly happy with the old systems. And likewise, of course, you could be saying, well, yeah, I like to see the instructor. Well, hello, I'm here. Yep, we can actually be talking to each other. And although we haven't got it enabled, we also have camera facilities. And yes, for certain courses, particularly like presentation skills courses and things like that, we enable the cameras. So therefore, we can all see each other directly, remote attendees. Obviously, there are concerns about privacy and things like that. So, we've got to be careful. But okay, the technology is available. So, my question really is, are you ready for live online learning? And then, of course, it goes on to actually say, well, where is the first place people go to find information now? Well, I think it's quite easy to say we go online. Obviously, many of us go onto YouTube and things like that, but it's going online. And therefore, training should actually also be online or be available as an online type of solution. So, okay, welcome to AnyWare. Here we are. This is the AnyWare interface. Now, this particular screenshot, which I'm showing at the moment, you can see that there's a picture of like a chair and a little poster behind it. Well, that chair and poster is actually, there we are, just there. That chair and poster is actually from my own office. And one of the things that Learning Tree also provide is home studio type facilities. Now, the idea with the home studio is that if I am teaching what we call a purely virtual course, then why should I come all the way into London? I mean, I've just travelled in there and it's been absolutely foul, really foul weather that we've got today. And wouldn't it be so much nicer if I could just go into my office? I would feel more relaxed, yes, and of course it can work exactly the same. So we do have what we call home studio type facilities, and they offer purely virtual. But when we're actually creating what we call a hybrid type of course, and a hybrid is where we mix remote attendees and in-class attendees, then of course the instructor needs to be in the classroom. So that's, I think, really all I need to say at the moment. This is a hybrid course. And one of the things which I'm going to do at the moment, which is not really what we normally do, is I'm just going to take the camera. So if I take this camera, oh, it's tight. There we are, the camera's tight, and I point it, there we are. So we've got Amraz, give us a wave, Amraz. Yes, and, and we've got Alison. Yep, there you are. And of course, these are our simulated attendees. Oh, I can't get that on. I've done it, Amraz. There we are. They are our simulated attendees in the classroom. So I'm in a normal Learning Tree classroom. So, okay, moving on a little bit. Now, certainly the evolution of training. When I started, when I was a young lad, we actually used to have overhead projectors. We'd have overhead projectors, and in fact, we used to have 2 overhead projectors. And okay, with the 2 projectors, we had foils, and I, as an instructor, would be tearing off the foils, plonking it on one projector, and then writing on the projector itself. And then, of course, I would carry on talking about that, and then I'd move across to the other projector as well. Well, certainly things have moved on from there. And of course, we have introduced the AnyWare environment. And with the AnyWare environment, we want you to actually have the same feel as though you were in a classroom, but without all of the traveling, without all of the expense. We want you to enjoy yourself. Yeah. And by the way, sometimes people think, I know what, I'll go on one of these remote courses. I'll register, but then I'll just fall asleep. I won't participate. Well, again, we're trained, as far as the instructors, we're trained hopefully to pull out, the relevant information from the attendees by asking direct questions and also looking at the camera. Yes, and when I'm looking at the camera, I'm effectively, in our minds, I'm looking at you. So therefore, we get a lot better interaction from that. But okay, one of the things that Learning Tree have done is that they have actually been listening to the industry. And we had a very big forum here at the London Education Centre, and this was really good. And if you want to actually find out more about this, we were discussing about digital transformation. And in particular, this discussion about things like artificial intelligence. And can AI replace me? And it was actually a really interesting discussion. And actually, you know, talking about learning and the future of learning. So what I like to do is I just like to spend, I think this lasts for about 2.5 minutes, just watching a quick video, okay? And it's a very quick capture of the this digital transformation discussions that we had. So I'm going to put my audio onto mute, and then I'm going to switch us across, if I can find my mouse. If I can find my mouse. Right, I'll switch you across, and then we'll play a video.
Technology is moving at a pace like never before.
So how do we fail fast or fail small, or as I like to say, you know, just learn?
I prepared a list of nice, safe, easy questions for the panel, and I can't for the life of me know what I've done with those. So.
We know that AI isn't magic, and often the AI is a system rather than just an algorithm. And algorithms are just opinions formed in maths.
Large organisations who are going through transformations, actually getting them to understand the transformation starts with the people that you bring in.
The talent's available, but it just looks very different. It's not traditionally how we've gone about it. And I think those are going to be some of the problems.
Because at the end of the day, more heads are better than none, right? I want diversity of thought on a team. If everyone's in groupthink, you don't design a good car, you don't design a good security system.
One of the interesting images that people have of agility is it's sort of like chaotic. You know, so what's the budget? We don't have a budget, we're agile. What's the deadline? We don't have a deadline, we're agile. Okay. Actually, agility requires serious discipline, because agility is about getting to a conclusion and an outcome faster, more effectively, with better value for the customer. Actually, that requires some serious discipline, which means some hard-edged metrics.
Learning Tree have a particular way of delivering their training. It's very hands-on, which is exactly the way that we like it. So the knowledge transfer is there in both the theoretical and the practical skills.
There's always a great buzz at Learning Tree. We've worked with Learning Tree now for probably 20 years. So we're an accreditation body. So we took Prince 2, we built Prince 2 to be a global standard. We worked with Learning Tree during that process. We now offer a range of qualifications and certifications in cybersecurity, program management, change management, project management, interpersonal skills. And we've always found it really good to work with Learning Tree because it's about quality. It's about the quality of the delivery.
We put together something very solid, very strong, that was built for a static age. And now we have to take it all apart and, you know, make it stretch.
But what we're talking about here in terms of capability is a mix of consultancy capability and learning capability. And I don't believe you can achieve that transformation without the combination of the two. And actually what we have is that capability under one roof.
Okay, and that was just finished off there by Ben, Ben Kite, who is our Managing Director over here in the UK. So I'll just switch everything back. There we are. So obviously we've been talking to the industry, and one of the things that Kate actually mentioned, the lady in that presentation, was really we built a system that was really strong, that worked really, really well in a classroom type environment. And as she very eloquently put it, now we have to break it down and build up again. And really that is what AnyWare is all about. We want to achieve the same classroom environment, but achieving it electronically. And okay, there are consultancy type services available within Learning Tree. And you know, do I feel that artificial intelligence will replace me? Well, there will be some artificial intelligence, particularly to do with questions. It will fire out questions, you will be giving it the answers, and then based upon those answers, the systems would then be recommending particular courses to actually go on, to actually improve your knowledge. And those courses, they could be face-to-face type courses presented via AnyWare, they could be recordings, whatever. So they are all now available within the Learning Tree umbrella as such. So let's just move on a little bit there now. So that's the digital transformation. And certainly, if you go to the Learning Tree website and follow the Evolve link, you can actually watch the seminar itself, which was really, really interesting. So, okay, again, as I mentioned, if you've got any questions, please just pop them into the chat window. You know, I don't know if you've got any comments with regard to that video, your views, your feelings, but by all means, just pop a message in if necessary. And I can obviously see the messages. So, okay, what is Learning Tree Anywhere? Well, obviously, it is a web-based remote attendance type platform. You're using it now, yeah, and you can connect either to a physical or to a virtual type of classroom. Now, this is a physical classroom. Yep, I am in a physical classroom. However, of course, if I step back and we see this picture here, this is where I would be using my home studio. Yep, that would be a home studio. So therefore, that would be a virtual type of event. Okay, so we can actually provide either virtual or physical. And as far as a remote participant is concerned, you just come in to the classroom via the web interface. And yes, you can communicate easily in real time. As I'm saying things and you have a question, you just ask your question. Yep, we normally have microphones enabled, so I would hear that question. And likewise, so would all of the in-class participants if we were doing a hybrid type course. We would hear your question. And in our classroom, on every desk, we've also got microphones. And as far as the microphones, obviously, when we're initiating class discussion, then our remote attendees can ask our in-class attendees questions or vice versa. So we've got the technology to allow this interaction directly. You can communicate directly with me, the course instructor, yes, and as I say, your other classmates. You can ask questions directly. Sometimes people think, oh, you know, I feel a little bit embarrassed. Perhaps they're coming in from another country where English, American, is not necessarily their first language. So they feel a little bit shy, a little bit embarrassed. Well, that doesn't matter to me, but I can understand for them. And therefore, of course, they can always pop a message in the chat window. But it's much better, it's much more interactive if you just ask a question, verbalize directly. So we support that, support both methods of communication. We also control cloud-based computers. And as far as these cloud-based computers, I mentioned SkyTap earlier. Well, with SkyTap, we can actually give you your own dedicated computer, which you work on in the cloud. We provide the links directly to it. And that could be dedicated to you. I would still have access to it. So if it's a techie course and you need help or whatever, I can actually go ahead and I can help you. Yep, I can actually manipulate it. Alternatively, what we can also have is a shared computer. And we can share the computer with a group of participants. And that group of participants could be remote participants or in class, or we could mix them up together if necessary. But okay, we've got the collaboration capabilities, sharing of computers directly. But we've also got the sharing of documents, which are also available. And so, okay, you can actually be running shared programs or, as I say, shared documents. And then you could have like one team, they're putting in information into a document, and I, as the instructor, could then present that document in the classroom to everyone. And it's all available via the AnyWare interface. Now, as far as the AnyWare interface, at the moment, the AnyWare interface is down below me. And what you can see is you can see a couple of icons. One says chime in and the other says get assistance. I think it's fairly obvious as to what they actually mean. why don't you try the chime in? Give me a chime in. Who's going to be first? Thank you, Vicky. Vicky was first. Nobody else wants to give me a chime in? Thank you, Amanda. And actually, this is one of the things which I do in my class on a regular basis to make sure that people are all awake, yep, that they're happy, that they're participating, and we can actually have competitions. Who is the first person, yep, to actually chime in? So Vicky, you won that award, yeah, in Surrey. So thank you very much. But also via the dashboard down below, I also have other capabilities. Now, we're not going to be able to do this, but what I've just done is I've just turned on hands-on exercises. So again, if you were attending a hands-on course, then when you're clicking on that link, it would be taking you to your cloud computer or your shared computer or your shared documents directly. So, okay, just so that we don't get too confused by all of this, I'll turn it off. And likewise, I can even do things like evaluations. Yeah, really important that we get information, we get feedback. Learning Tree need it. They need to know that I have been providing you with what you require. So we have got the evaluations type options, and we've even got satisfaction type surveys as well. So you can actually provide the information, yes, I am happy, or no, I'm not happy, or whatever. But there we are. That's, I think, everything that we need to actually see on that. Let me just close off the particular options, and I'll just clear Vicky. There, oh, Vicky just cleared herself. Good. Vicky's obviously learning this interface very, very well indeed. Thank you, Vicky. Let's have a look. Oh, and of course, another thing is I can pop a message in here. So there we are. I can pop a message in here. Just put a message into the chat window. And of course, the idea behind that is that if someone is having perhaps audio type issues or something like that, then I can send a message. And at the moment, the message which I just sent is a public message. You can all see that I can pop a message in here, message. But I can actually send private messages as well. And likewise, you as a participant, you can also send me private messages. So you don't have to feel, embarrassed or anything like that, obviously, because we've got this private facility. So just something to be aware of. Okay. Well, I think now that you've seen the AnyWare interface, certainly with AnyWare, of course, you do have the opportunity to attend literally from anywhere. Now, I'm not quite sure that you'd necessarily be able to get a good Wi-Fi signal sitting under a tree in the middle of a field. However, I have actually had participants on my course, and this is absolutely genuine, they have actually been in a ship. Now, okay, to be fair, the ship was moored, but they were actually, or docked, but they were actually attending using AnyWare via 4G. Now, we don't recommend that because there could be all sorts of, lag delays and things like that, because obviously network connections are important for this technology. But literally, the title AnyWare is because you can actually attend the courses from anywhere, providing you have a good network connection. And if you are attending from via AnyWare, then obviously you can actually choose different dates, because we're running courses here in the UK. There are courses running in the US and things like that. Well, now, if you are prepared to time slip, then you could actually say, well, okay, I need a course next week, and I need it on, I don't know, Kubernetes, or I need it on the cloud, or something like that. Well, it could be that it's running in the US next week. So yeah, you can actually just register online and attend the course in the US, even though you may be based in Sweden or London. So that's one of the great features of using this technology. So you're no longer having to eliminate the expenses from a company perspective of airfare, hotels, and things like that. Now, that's a good thing for the company. Obviously, attendees, they may feel, oh, I've missed my shopping trip or something like that. But obviously, it's a business decision. Avoiding time-consuming commutes. The Bakerloo line is shut today. There's been problems on our underground type systems. And obviously I'm aware from watching the news about problems in Venice and things like that. But of course you can actually be attending using this technology. And you can be attending either the hybrids or purely virtual types of courses. And okay, as far as the training, what goes on in Learning Tree about training the instructors? Well, certainly with Learning Tree, we've got over 600 plus consultants worldwide. Yep, and they are trained, obviously trained for online facilitation. I personally get involved with that training. And prior to teaching, Learning Tree do invest heavily in instructor vetting and training. We do proper author calls, techie type calls, really probing, getting the right answers. And okay, as far as teaching using this technology, well, I sincerely hope you are listening at the moment. Yep, you are. You're actually watching this video. And okay, there are some key points. Things like communicating directly with the camera. That's important. Yeah, it's not good if I'm not looking at that camera, if I'm always looking down here, if you're always seeing my bald head, that is not a particularly attractive type image. Voice, gestures, animation. You can see, I hope, I'm moving around a lot. And that becomes more important when you're actually attending an online type system. I don't know if you've watched any, well, I'm sure you have watched some YouTube type videos, and you have a person who is rigid and they make a mistake and then you get it like a freeze and then they start again and it just doesn't flow. And that's so important. Things should be flowing. You should find, effectively, that the instructor should be using drawings and highlighting. Now, I'm not very good at drawing, yes? Oh, actually, that's quite useful, isn't it? I'm sorry, I've just realised there's some eyes there. Yeah, I'm not very good at drawing and stuff like that. But of course, on certain courses, it's really important. And of course, we're choosing the right instructors for the right courses. We've got chats. I can pop them. When you started, I popped up a poll. Yes, I popped up a little poll, and that information is recorded, so we've got a proper record of it. Yeah, that'll do. And okay, there's all sorts of feedback indicators, which I'll mention coming up. And okay, I have got the capability of giving you a live demonstration. I can actually connect to a cloud computer. I can demonstrate it, and I'll show you it coming up. But what I'd like to do now is actually go ahead and let's look at how not to deliver online training. Yeah, not to deliver. I am hopefully purposely, yes, I'm going to purposely make some mistakes. And when I make those mistakes, what I would like you to do is pop a message in the chat window. See who spots the most mistakes that I make. All right, so it'll give you an opportunity, so feel free, type in. Yep, get going. So okay, let's go back. I'll just go back a little bit if I can. Let's go back a little bit here. Yeah, let's go to this slide here. Right, I'm now going to do things I hope wrong. So I'm going to do a few things wrong. And hopefully you can all understand what I'm talking about.
And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to stick something in the chat window. I'd like you to change your status and give me a green tick. Yeah, now, obviously, at the end of the course, we're going to be doing some evaluations. And you're going to give me perfect evaluations. And if you remember, I like to be there. I like to be there. Yeah, I don't like to be here. Why should I like to be here? I prefer it to be at home. So, okay, as far as changing your status, well, if you don't know how to change your status, that's your tough luck. Yeah, you'll just have to find it yourself. What else? Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, rude? How dare you say I'm rude? How dare you? Now, look, I can actually disconnect you, Amanda. Yeah? I can disconnect you. Why should I put up with attendees who are disruptive? Yeah? I'm here to teach a course. I think I've said enough. I think I've said enough. Obviously, as far as highlighting, was there any highlighting? Ah, good. So let's just go through. You're not on camera, out of shot. Exactly. You didn't necessarily know what I was doing or anything like that. I do actually have a microphone actually attached here. And there's lots of rigorous training, and I was not going to create any embarrassment. But there are times, of course, when instructors have to leave the classroom for certain reasons. And of course, microphones end up being enabled. So that can be a problem. Out of shot, because when I'm out of shot, you are actually losing attention. What's going on? Yeah, now I may be doing something perfectly legitimate, but you've lost it. So quite right. Can't see or hear you. Yeah, because I was purposely talking quietly. Yeah, I may have been whispering to Alison or Amraz. Actually, it was Alison that said, can't see or hear. Yes, I may have been whispering. Rude. Of course. As far as I'm concerned, as far as Learning Tree are concerned, it does not matter if you are attending remotely or if you are attending in the classroom. It's the same. Yep, you are all treated the same. Yes, it's not the privileged people come into the classroom. That is not the case. Yep, you are all as important as each other. And not very helpful, yeah. Stick it in, change your status, I said. And I didn't even tell you where the status was. So thank you. I think you did pick up on a lot of points there. Yeah, and Amanda, I'm glad you did take it as a joke. I did mean it as a joke, obviously. But it was just to actually show you some of the things that can happen. And the next time you're actually looking on something like YouTube, and there are some good YouTube channels, don't get me wrong, but the next time you're looking, just start thinking about, how is that person interacting? Are they actually interacting? Or is it just flat? Are they being animated? Because all of that really, really becomes important. So the drawing and the highlighting, because as I'm going through things, I will actually be drawing, I will be highlighting, and that is essential. So, okay, I purposely did some mistakes there, and thank you, because at least we were able to see, the chat window working. And okay, as far as the AnyWare tools, well, first of all, really the focus has to be on the slides themselves. But we have to get feedback from you. You're already providing that via the chat window. We're already providing you with a live video feed. We're also providing you with a Get Assistance feature as well. And I'll mention about the Get Assistance, and I'll mention about validation for connecting into the classroom coming up soon. And also, of course, we have the chime in type capability.
Now, don't you ever use that chime in. I hate it. Chime in is important. Yes, chiming in is important, but certainly voice is also important. And if you've got a question, then just ask your questions. That's my personal feelings here. But okay, we've got the attendee list. So I've got some excellent. I can see Adam, and oh, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Morutan. Thank you. You found the green tick mark. Yes, thank you very much. I mean, I didn't tell you where it was. I said just change your status. So you've already, had a little hunt around and found it. That's great. And this is where, as an instructor, I can also be firing out questions to the audience. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Yeah. And rather than everybody saying, yes and no or typing it in, you just change your status. Green tick, red cross, something like that. And also, if you are stepping away, and there are times when you do have to leave the classroom, then I, as an instructor, would request that you always change your status to stepped away. And then in that way, I know that you have stepped away. I know that there's no point me asking a question. It's like me firing out a question, and it's just like tumbleweed, rolling down, and I get no answers coming back. Good. Okay, so as far as changing of your status, and as I've said, Morutan, and Adam, they found the changing of the status, and it's along the top menu bar. Along the top menu bar, you'll see the symbol of someone holding their hand up, and there's a little drop-down arrow, and you can actually now use that drop-down arrow and change it to agree or disagree. So do you all agree that you've now found that? Can you all agree that you have found it? Thank you. Vicky, yep, coming in there. Oh, okay, Adam's now said he doesn't. Which means that you have, Adam, which is really good. So we've got Carol, Derek, Nicole, Shannon. Not sure if they're actually on at the moment, but obviously now I can actually see who is responding, as far as those messages. And I can clear them all, and so can you as well. You can clear your own status. So let's just clear the status. Clear everyone's status. There we are. So that's just a reset for everything. Oops. Okay. Now, I've mentioned that we do actually provide SkyTap, which is our cloud solution. Okay, and it's a set of cloud type computers. So normally what happens is that attendees or participants, when they come onto our courses, they would actually just click on this hands-on exercise type link, which is normally shown down below in the dashboard. You can't, I've disabled that at the moment, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to actually demonstrate to you what I can actually see as an instructor. Now, as an instructor with a cloud type course, with a SkyTap type course, the attendees, they click on the link, the hands-on exercise type link, and then that takes them to their own cloud computer or multiple cloud computers. Well, I, as an instructor, I actually have access, he said, if I can find it. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Oh, I can't get it across. Is that on for you guys? No, I've got to move it across, don't I? There we go. Right. Okay, now I, as an instructor, I have access to all of the computers that are actually used on the course. You would only see your own designated computer for obvious reasons. So, okay, let's just see what I can do down here. Okay. I'm just connecting. I've just connected. Whoops. Let's get this into a bigger screen. Oops. Oh, come on. Why did it do that? There we are. Right. I've just connected onto a SkyTap computer. Okay. Now, this is a computer that you could actually be accessing. And okay, on this particular course, it's a course which I'm the author of, and I developed this for a well-known organization. And I wonder if you can tell what the organization is. And from here, we have access to things like the course notes. So if I click on notes, there it is. This is the course material directly. It's online. Okay, and obviously we can scroll through all of this. So the attendees can actually follow all of the course directly. Oh, there it is. If you want to know all about the cloud, yep, and what a private cloud is or a public cloud, this is the course. But anyway, this is SkyTap. And likewise, if you want to do an exercise, we have a system which is called Adapt-to-Learn. And with Adapt-to-Learn, this is all of the exercises available online via a web type interface. And we can select on Adapt-to-Learn. So let's just go through, I don't know, creating a Docker image. There we are. And here is the exercise. And as we step through the exercise, or the attendees are doing the exercise, then they're checking the appropriate boxes as they go through. So we've got Adapt-to-Learn, which is the exercises. We've got SkyTap, which is the cloud computers directly. And we've also got collaboration. Now, not all courses will be using SkyTap computers. It may be that instead they're actually using shared documents. And if they're using shared documents, we use something like the Google Drive type system. And if you're familiar with Google, then if I go in, I've got access here to everyone's, whoops. I can't go in there. Isn't it wonderful? There we are. I can go in to any of the group's exercise workbooks directly. This isn't clicking on. Come on. There we go. It's going in. And here, this is a shared workbook. So what that means is that if we've got a group of participants, whether they are remote or they're in class, then they could be filling in these fields directly. Yeah? And people can see who it is that's putting the information in. So we've got all of the, everything to do with all of the exercises. And this is used more on our management types of courses. So that's the, I think that's probably the best way of putting it. That's our SkyTap and that's our collaboration type systems. So let me just switch you back now. There we go. Sorry, I'm just, I can't find my mouse. Isn't that typical? My mouse seems to be disappearing. Where am I? I'll get there in a moment. Good, there we are, back again. Right, so all of that is just a quick demonstration where an attendee can click on the hands-on exercises directly, and because they clicked on that, they gain access either to a SkyTap cloud computer, yeah, or, as I say, to shared files directly. So this is just a summary. We have the capability of putting attendees into breakout rooms as well. So pop them into a breakout room, and then when they're in a breakout room, they can only talk and see each other. Only the people that are actually in the breakout rooms directly. And yes, there we are. This is just some screenshots from what I've already demonstrated. We've also got, again, some more screenshots here of the SkyTap type solution as well. So real-time demonstrations. I can do things live. Yep, you will actually see them being demonstrated live. And of course, when things are live, things can go wrong. Yes, things may go wrong. And for that reason, we've always got the get assistance functionality. AnyWare is reliable, AnyWare is stable, but we can't control the internet. Yes, and therefore, obviously, there can be some issues to do with the internet. It's becoming rare now. But anyway, we have the technology. And sometimes people may have difficulty with connecting their headsets, perhaps enabling their cameras directly. So again, one single click on the Get Assistance, and that puts you through. This is actually a screenshot of downstairs here at Learning Tree. They have a big wall which is full of screens, and tech support, they're there and actually monitoring all of the time, all of the classrooms that are actually using AnyWare. And as far as support, the support is follow the sun. So it doesn't really matter which country you are in. Yep, support will actually be available for you. And okay, they will support the common operating systems. And of course, again, we're getting close now to finishing time. Obviously, if you've got any questions, then please drop them into the chat pod. And what I'd like to actually say is, as a reward, so thank you for actually attending this webinar. Learning Tree have actually are offering a 25% discount if you'd like to actually attend an AnyWare course. And the details are on this slide directly. So please, if you've got any questions, please pop them into the chat window. And likewise, what I'll do is I'm actually going to bring up another poll just to actually just see, well, try and collect a little bit more of your opinions, yeah, with regard to what did you think of this system. So if I may, I'll just pop up another little poll. And as I say, any questions, please pop those questions into the chat window now, and I'll be very happy to help you. So my questions, you can see, and you can do multiple questions there. Did you enjoy the presentation? Yeah, or yeah, it went very well, or yeah, it works. Or I'm happy to attend. Yeah, an AnyWare course, that's great. No, had some technical issues, yeah, or no, I prefer to be in a classroom. So if you could kindly actually just provide some feedback, it would be really appreciated. And as I said, we're just coming up. There we are. We've got 1 minute to go as far as the actual times. But if you've got any questions, please feel free. Any comments? You've been a very quiet group. I suppose you didn't get a chance because I've been doing too much talking. Well, it's certainly very interesting. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Thank you. Thanks for your time, Mike. Amanda, it is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. Yes, I just hope everybody else has enjoyed it as well. It's always nice. It's always nice to actually get the feedback, and certainly at the end of the real courses there, it's actually, I always feel very sad, because we have built up such a good rapport. But I hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a good rapport here, and so thank you for your time. It's my pleasure again. So good, thank you. Yeah, absolutely great. No problems at all there, Adam. Learning Tree is doing well and making learning easy. Oh, thank you. We couldn't have put it better ourselves. That is a very, very kind compliment. Thank you. Okay, remember, if you want to actually sign up with Learning Tree, then, as I said, there is a 25% discount which is available. And all that we need now to do, as it is 3 o'clock, is just to say, well, thank you very, very much for attending. Obviously, if you want any feedback from Learning Tree or need anything from Learning Tree, please get in touch. We've got the website, and it's available in Sweden, available in America, yes, available here in the UK. So please get in touch with us. And so at that point, I will say thank you very, very much for attending. I hope I've answered all of your questions, and hopefully I'll see you sometime on one of our courses. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye from the UK, and thank you.